From Outpost Gray and Grant Thornton Public Sector, we provide you the CyberFed News Roundup. Tech news that matters.
Hello and happy Friday, October 28th, 2022. I'm your host, Jack Scott, and today I am providing you the CyberFed News Roundup for the week of October 24th. Let's get into it. Australia plans to clamp down on companies that do not protect customer data. Following a data breach at the second largest Australian wireless carrier and the largest Australian health insurer, the government is drastically increasing penalties levied against companies that do not protect customer data. The penalties are going to increase from 1.4 million USD to 32 million USD. If that wasn't enough, companies could be levied a penalty of 30% of their total revenue if they make over 32 million USD. In a statement made to Australian media, Attorney General Mark Dreyfus said, quote, "The existing safeguards are inadequate, and while these penalties are substantial, they are designed to make companies think more about protecting the data of Australians," end quote. If Parliament approves these penalties, they will be imposed for future data breaches and not retroactive. Veterans and military spouses to get free cybersecurity training thanks to the amendment in the 2023 NDAA. Earlier this year, the NDAA contained a bipartisan amendment that would facilitate free cybersecurity training for veterans and military spouses. The program created by this amendment is designed to not only enable veterans to access professional training, giving them the knowledge to join the workforce when they leave the military, but also continuously work to close the gap in cybersecurity. In a report released this month called the State of the Federal Cyber Workforce Report, stated there were over 700,000 cybersecurity positions across the U.S. that needed filled. In addition to that, it is reported that an additional 40,000 public sector jobs need to be filled. Senator Maggie Hassan, one of the sponsors, said, quote, "This bill will address the workforce challenges in the veteran community by standing up a cyber training program at the VA to help veterans secure good paying, stable jobs," end quote. Senator John Connery said in a statement, "Cyber threats are evolving each day, and we must have a workforce prepared to respond. By harnessing the experience of our veterans and creating more opportunities for hands-on learning, this legislation would help ensure we are ready to fend off cyber attacks from our adversaries." Are the changes that Jen Easterly is making within CISA enough to impact U.S. cyber defense? The Biden administration thought they were making significant strides with their cybersecurity performance goals, known as CPGs, focused on protecting critical infrastructure. Biden administration even condemned the predecessor's approach of going sector by sector as, quote, "woefully inadequate," end quote. However, there is still a lot of resistance from industry leaders, and what the Biden administration thought they would be leaving behind, they are learning that a sector by sector approach may be the answer. They are working with CISA on drafting new cyber guidelines. The CPG were created to establish a baseline for cybersecurity within all critical infrastructure. However, with the pushback by the industry, CISA is facing some considerable refinements to the CPGs, which could drastically shift the priorities and baseline from a higher to a lower standard. To combat this, CISA is taking requests and recommendations by industry leaders. They are also working with other federal agencies to revisit the recommendations to offer a different approach to establishing a performance baseline for industries. No date is set for when CISA will provide the updated CPGs. Cybersecurity threats from Russia, China, and North Korea are on the rise, and they are targeting more than America. The Secretary of Homeland Security said they have observed an uptick in cybersecurity threats targeting the U.S. and Asian countries. The Secretary states, quote, "Malicious activity from the PRC is a real and present threat, not just for the United States, but for other countries as well," end quote. Many researchers believe China could begin cyber attacks on America because of the trade and export issues and U.S. dealings in Taiwan. The secretary addressed the audience at an event in Singapore this week and expressed his concerns about the sophistication of Russia and China threat actors. Their cyber capabilities pose a real risk to everyone in the world, not just the United States. That concludes your CyberFed News Roundup for the week of October 24th. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode out with others. You all are the best, and I'll see you next week.